The manager told investigators 2 people approached him outside of his Benton Harbor home. He says they held him at gunpoint, blindfolded, and even handcuffed him and then put him in the back of his own car. Now Allen's attempting to get those attorneys reinstated, remove that judge from the case, and get a trial date set within 70 days of this decision. They thought it looked suspicious and called 911. Elkhart police were on scene around noon. Neighbors say it was difficult to watch the day unfold. The Kosciuszko County coroner knows there have been 20 overdose deaths so far this year, but he wants others to be aware of it too, adding a sign outside of his office for those driving by to see. It was just before 1:30 Friday morning when Elkhart police arrived on this lot. They were able to find tracks and a damaged fence on the property. They were also able to find 25 cut catalytic converters and the 2 men accused of stealing them. Emotions were especially high for Mayor-elect Lichty, not only for her win, but becoming a part of history. But they are releasing disturbing details as to what happened this weekend and how there are now multiple investigations on the 3 people who are dead. It happened in this parking lot with almost no other cars around. A woman says what she planned as a quick trip to the mall with her daughter became scary fast. What the alleged porch pirate doesn't know? She caught it all on one of these.
Of course, outside the mayor's office in Elkhart, and a sad ending to a search that's lasted several days.
Just about an hour ago, Mayor Robertson issued a statement saying the family is devastated. And as we first reported, the silver alert was issued Monday when Garvin Robertson was last seen.
Because there was cars down the road, all the way down the street. There was cars, like from that end to that end. There was cars on both sides. Like it was pretty. It was a nice amount of people out here.
Neighbors say they've never seen anything like it. Large crowds of young people block after block in the area of Washington and Walnut. What neighbors say looked like hundreds of young people partying quickly turned scary. More than 130 shots fired from 13 different guns, according to police, hitting 3 people at that party. 36 police cars sent to the scene from 4 different departments. That's when the struggle began for first responders to get to those victims. Police say the large crowds were making it difficult for even ambulances to get through.
They were hindering our response to get to the 3 people that were shot, and people are going to have to explain why they did what they did. No excuse and no reasons good enough to hinder the police from trying to bring aid to victims.
One juvenile was arrested as a result of that struggle, but has since been released to his parents. This incident breaks a 24-day streak without criminal shootings in the city, as 2023 has seen fewer shootings than this time last year. Police Chief Scott Ruskowski wants answers as to what happened.
Somebody knows. Every time that trigger is pulled, somebody knows other than whoever's pulling that trigger. In this case, we have 13 different people pulling a trigger. Neither of us should be here to have to plead to the community to stop something so easy to stop.
South Bend Mayor James Mueller calls it disappointing. He says the city has systems in place to keep people safe, but now it's up to the community.
If you know who is responsible for violence in our community, come forward with information. So we need the information to be able to get these violent offenders off the streets.
Myra Garcia lives in South Bend off of a busy street and in an area where she says she knows all of her neighbors. Until now, she believed it was a safe neighborhood. That's until she and her kids left home to get groceries Wednesday afternoon with a new TV out for delivery.
When they say it's out for delivery and I'm running into Walmart, what are the chances that it's going to get delivered while the 1 hour that I was gone? So it got delivered.
She was notified the TV was on her front porch. Neighbors say just minutes later, a man stopped in front of her house, grabbed the TV, and drove off. But what the alleged porch pirate doesn't know? She caught it all on one of these. Ring footage on her front door shows a FedEx driver carrying the TV with the help of a stranger.
So it was at 11:15 when the guy dropped it off. We didn't, it was being delivered. I'll be on my way. I was down at Walmart. How long does it take to get here? I was at checkout line. And then 11:35. So 20 minutes, there's a guy driving by and taking my TV.
What's even more bizarre, it appears to be that same Good Samaritan coming back to take it.
It just sucks. He paid for this TV, and it was on sale, Black Friday sales, but still, it's just like, bro, we work, we have kids,
She says the stranger appears to come out of nowhere in the video and that he made it appear he was there to help. Now she's warning her neighbors so this tactic doesn't work again.
Staphylococcal scalded skin syndrome. It's a scary, serious, and rare infection. And some people, including one Mishawaka family, have never heard of it until it affects someone they know. WSBT 22's Ann Lurea joins us at the live desk. So Ann, the family said it looks like a run-of-the-mill rash, but it quickly became something more.
That was the case for their 2-year-old daughter, Zeta. In less than a day, she had to be taken to the ER, and now her mom has a warning for other parents. Zeta is like many other 2-year-olds, happy, healthy, and always on the move, until New Year's Eve when the playing stopped.
She had like a little spot on her chin that looked like maybe rug burn or something. She had a fever. She just kind of laid there moaning, didn't want to be touched.
Zeta's mom, Cassandra Zwerzinski, noticed something was wrong when that spot began to spread. That's when she took Zeta to the ER, where Cassandra says more spots were popping up in front of her eyes.
Almost like a chemical burn, like the top layer of skin was peeling off, so it was all red and raw. Some of the spots bled.
She was told Zeta had scalded skin syndrome, a rare infection that children younger than 5 are at risk for. Warning signs include redness of the skin, fever, and irritability.
Epidemiologically, they say it occurs in, 1 in 1 million to 2 million people. It's usually caused by a bacterial infection. So you have to treat the infection, and then from the body's physiologic standpoint, it acts very much like a burn, and so it requires a lot of the same treatment that burn victims require.
Some cases even need treatment from a burn unit. It's a diagnosis Dr. Mark Fox at the St. Joseph County Department of Health says he's seen only once throughout his 20 years in the field.
It's scary, and then you wonder, why my child? Why is this happening to her?
Zeta was treated with an IV and antibiotics and spent 4 days in the hospital. Luckily, she's well on her way to recovery, still taking antibiotics at home. Cassandra says it was mother's intuition that made her take action.
I think when you see something that you think is a scrape spread like that, it's good to get some medical attention.
So that Zeta can be a happy and healthy little one once again. Because the warning signs of this infection start like many pediatric illnesses, it's important to keep a close watch in case symptoms worsen. If you're worried your child has it, Dr. Fox says it's best to get them checked by a medical professional. At the live desk, Ann Lurea, WSBT 22 News. When responding to a call for a structure fire just down the road, Officer De La Rosa says she wasn't expecting to roll up on the biggest fire she's seen yet. De La Rosa was just sworn in last July. And on an early January morning, she found herself as the first one on the scene, with 2 survivors in the street.
My number one response was get the people away. And I saw them laying kind of by the driveway. So I yelled for them, you need to step back, get away from the fire. And one of the, I think it was the daughter that was on there, she's like, you need to help her, she's paralyzed.
That's when Officer De La Rosa found Nadina Halamar, a woman who's now a quadriplegic due to a car accident 17 years ago. She was brought out by her daughter, who was already in the home. These moments show the house in flames as Officer De La Rosa found the 2.
So I'm like, okay, we got to figure out how to get her away. I told the daughter, grab her legs, and I told her before I carried her, this is going to hurt.
She helped Helamar's daughter quickly move her to a safer location. Her bravery not taken for granted by Helamar's family. LaShawn Pepperaldo is Helamar's sister. She says she's amazed at the compassion of a stranger.
Just to have no thought about herself or themselves and just put herself in harm's way to save my family.
And despite the uphill battle this family faces following the tragedy, Pepperaldo says she's seen a spark of hope through Officer De La Rosa, being reminded good people exist.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I hope that my sister can say something to her. But just thank you from the bottom of our hearts.